Hi, Facebookers. It's 5/2/2016, and we're going to cover some touchy subject matter. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Corey Warren, and we are representing the CoreyWarrenFoundation.org. For more information, go there for donations. And what we're about is helping the troubled youth, trying to enlighten them and enrich them with the knowledge and trying to help them in today's society. So as I said earlier, we're going to touch on a really touchy subject, and this is real. I mean, I don't know. Does it get any realer than this? It started way back with Trayvon Martin, but I'm not going to get into details about that because I want to talk about what's going on right here in this city. I live in Tampa, and my neighboring city is Pinellas County, also known as St. Pete. And when I say ridiculous, it's ridiculous. I mean, murder after murder after murder. People are taking people's lives over the silliest, stupidest stuff. And again, I normally don't do posts or blogs about this kind of thing. But when it's a personal friend of mine or a person that I knew, I think they deserve that amount of respect. So we're going to go right into it. I have here man killed in shooting near All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg. The shooting happened Saturday, 12:25 a.m. in the area of 6th Avenue South and 5th Street South. According to police, Scott Franklin, 41, was shot on his way home from work. Surveillance footage appeared to show Franklin's vehicle being followed by at least 2 or 3 other vehicles. Witnesses told police they heard gunshots and saw someone leaning out of the passenger side of the suspect's vehicle. The car then fled northbound on 6th Street South. Okay. That happened 12:25 Saturday morning. Good news is they found the suspect. He's been apprehended. Some 22-year-old punk. Basically, there's more to the story, but the news is only releasing small amounts. But at the end of the day, from the Scott that I knew, he was a good guy. Straight shooter. He worked the front desk of Gold's Gym, a gym I used to work at about 15 years ago. Maybe 15 plus years. I'm getting old. But anyway, with that being said, Scotty was a good guy. I mean, everybody knew Scotty. He was a front desk guy. He was a meet and greet guy. He was a, help out, fix the equipment guy. If you needed a spot on the weight bench to do a set of curls or bench press, Scotty was a good guy. He was that guy. I have nothing bad to say about Scotty Franklin. I mourn for his family and his loved ones, and it's just sad. That's not how it's supposed to be, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. That is not how. It's not good. Okay, so now we're going to go into another story. This is a person that I do not know, but I'm going to give you a little insight on St. Pete. Okay, and this is printed from the Tampa Bay Times. Basically, St. Petersburg police insults led 18-year-old to shoot and kill a 17-year-old. So, an insult, ladies and gentlemen. Not bullying, not a robbery, not a drive-by. Basically, it was all wordplay. And an insult led to a 17-year-old's death. I mean, I'm lost for words. What is there to say? Okay. And back in the day, if you had a problem, we put up fisticuffs. Now, I'm not condoning or promoting fighting or violence in any manner, but a black eye or a knocked out tooth, you go to the dentist and get your tooth fixed. A black eye will heal with proper ice pack and proper TLC from your mother. But you cannot heal a life. There's no repair for life. There's no replacement for life. And these new societies, they apparently don't value life as the way we once did. So I'm going to get into this article, and it gets serious. Okay, let's go. So, the argument began in the Green apartment building Tuesday afternoon, spilling outside onto 13th Avenue South By the time it was over, 17-year-old Gabriel Wallace lay on the sidewalk, shot once in the chest. He died less than 2 hours later at the hospital. This was verbal, said Jim Pravita, St. Petersburg assistant police chief. It was name calling, basically, that ended in violence that night. Around 4 p.m., officers received calls saying the teenager had been shot. When they arrived at Jordan Park Apartments, 231 13th Avenue South, minutes later they found Wallace in extremely critical condition and began performing CPR. Paramedics then arrived and rushed Wallace to the Bayfront Hospital, St. Petersburg, where he was pronounced dead at 5:40 p.m. Shortly after arriving on the scene, police announced they had probable cause to arrest Ebrion Witcher, 18 years old, acquaintance of Wallace. They said Witcher shot Wallace once, then fled the area. They were working with a third party to convince the 18-year-old to turn himself in. Police did not say the criminal charges Witcher faces. Basically, they didn't say anything. He's obviously armed, and he's obviously dangerous, Pravita said. We want to get him off the streets before he hurts anyone else. The homicide was among a spatter murders in St. Petersburg in recent weeks. Okay, now we're about to go into some details on how they get down in St. Pete. A 25-year-old man, Aaron Davis, was shot and killed December 6th at Fountain Court Apartments on 40th Street North. No arrest has been made on this murder. That means nobody been caught, nobody saw nothing, nobody's found. Are you serious? Really? With all the CSI and FBI and all the detection that we have, nobody's found? Okay, let's rock and roll. Jared Evans, 18 years old, was shot dead November 29th outside Johnny's Food Mart on 16th Street South. 2 people were arrested. That's a good thing. Joshua Walsh, 22, was shot and killed during the home invasion robbery November 10th. And at the same night, 16-year-old Lenny Acostas was killed in a targeted shooting in St. Petersburg home near Wildwood Park. Because we had a number of shootings in this area, initially we looked to see if it was related to anything else, Pravita said. But right now, it looks like the 2 individuals, one of them chose to settle an argument with violence. Tuesday evening, it was still unclear what they were arguing about. There are no fisticuffs, Pravita said, just pure insults. One of the neighbors outside said to me, we used to settle our differences with a fist fight, Pravita said. And it's so true. Now, a lot of these youngsters, a lot of these young tough guys and wannabes, it says young men and women, even turn to settle their arguments with a gun. Okay, in the hood, we call it gunplay. Okay, that's not cool. Neighbors gathered to the edge of the police tape along Jordan Street Park declined to identify themselves, but said often Wallace was riding his bike around the neighborhood, hanging out with friends. One of the neighbors called him Little Bub. He fell to the ground, gasping and sobbing when we told him Wallace had died. Pravita said witnesses, including a very young child, had been tremendously helpful in their cooperation with the police. So at the end of the day, folks, again, I'm not trying to take up all your time, but I felt this was a very important matter. And I said previously in the blog that these youngsters are ruthless, careless, heartless, thoughtless. This was a thoughtless, callous. It took no thought. It takes no thought to pull a trigger. It takes no mindset to pull a trigger. This was this basically on insults. And again, the school that I come from, we use fisticuffs. Back in the day, we had a problem. You put up your dukes, you beat the buddy up, you beat a person up, and you become buddies. You actually became friends after a good beating. Okay, after a good beat down. I know that everybody I beat down, I became friends. And most of the people were bullies. I've never started a fight in my life. I've never encouraged a fight. But I will say that, things were different back in the day. This is ridiculous. This is wordless. This is thoughtless. It's heartless. And I just read you like 6 murders in a row. So it's happening all the time. We need to stop it, people. We need to come together. We need to come out with some better counseling programs. I can't even say anger management. I mean, insults. People get insulted every day. Hillary Clinton get insulted every day. Donald Trump get insulted every day. Okay? Donald Trump would have to kill half the world if he was offended by insults. So all I can say is Let's pray for the families. Let's wish them a peaceful journey. And it's sad. It's just sad, sad. And this happens all the time in St. Pete. Some of this stuff don't even get reported. But I had to do a blog on this. I had to let the people know that we do give a crap. And people out there like me will put you on blast. You need to relax, calm, think about your situation. Think about it, man. I mean, seriously, it shouldn't even come to blows, honestly. If a person insults you, the bigger person should walk away. If a person put hands on you, I'm not going to tell you not to defend yourself. You do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, an insult is not worth a life.